Hey there! It's been a while, hasn't it? Nice to see you. So, maybe we haven't talked since yesterday. Maybe it has been months. And, well, I've probably missed you. And there's even a possibility you're here for the very first time and don't know me at all. Whatever it is, be very welcome. And I hope you stay a bit because I want to talk to you about failure. Failure comes in many forms, and so it is very unsurprising that there's a lot of different idioms and sayings about this. Failing upwards, too big to fail, don't let your failures define you. The last one in particular I find to be very nonsensical, because failing has a lot of good sides when you really think about it. Without failure, you'd never be able to decide where to go in life, because there's so many possibilities, vast possibilities, too many ways of doing something. But if you see, well, this particular thing I'm not able to do right now, you have decisions to make. Do I want to take another way, or do I want to improve myself? Do I want to increase my abilities until this becomes a possible way? And so in many ways, failing is the main way, if not the only way, of learning in life. And so we should be very thankful if we fail early and hard, because, well, that's the most amount of experience we will ever make, I think. In earlier videos I talked a lot about goals. Big goals, unattainable goals, and smaller goals that lead to bigger goals. And yeah, at this point you will be obviously realizing that failing is kind of the other side of the same coin, where failing on the way to a bigger goal can indeed be a win, an achieved smaller goal in the bigger picture. So yeah, it's all semantics really. But we're not here to talk about dancing in semantic trees today. I rather would like to invite you to think about goals we achieved over the last year, goals we didn't achieve, failures that met us along the way, and what it all means eventually in the end, and what we can take into the next year and the years after that, if we are so inclined to do so. Even though today is the 7th of December 2025 and we are slowly but definitely reaching the end of the year, I want to start this story last year in 2024, when I turned 42, and I decided this would be a good year to try to aspire to a bigger goal in life. Well, not something very meaningful for the world whole, but nonetheless a particular goal for myself, and that was that I always wanted to run a marathon, and I thought, well, becoming 42 is as good a year as any. In fact, in my mind, it had a certain ring of poetic harmony to achieve this 42 kilometers goal in the same year when I myself turned 42. And so I set out to do that, and never did. So when 2025 came around, I thought to myself, well, this is a failure, but not a definitive one, because technically I will still be 42 for another 8 months and a day, and so I can still reach my goal without really failing at all if I manage to do this marathon up until my birthday. And so at the 1st of January 2025, I had a plan, and this plan was to walk every day for at least 10,000 steps, if possible. And if I get sick, maybe a bit less, but I would try my very best to go outside every day and do a few steps. You have seen early videos maybe, and you know of this goal and of the many little goals and happiness and fitness this brought to myself. And so it was already a win in itself. But we're talking about failure today, and failing I was, because summer came around and there was a plan with my best friend Hai to go on a certain walk, and this day came and went, and it was entirely my fault, because despite being outside every day and getting a bit fitter and a bit leaner, if not much, yeah, the longest distance I achieved on a single day was a half marathon. Yeah, a bit more than 25 or 26 kilometers, I think, which was okay, but a far cry from the 42.1 something kilometers that is a marathon. And so my birthday came and went, and I failed. And I thought, well, still, I changed my life. I'm going outside every day, and no reason to stop this, really, because I feel good. At this point, before I proceed with my story, I want you to take a step back and think about something for a second or two. What even defines a failure? What makes not achieving a goal a failure? Giving up, maybe? Or does it already start being a failure the very moment you miss your goal? When the time you set to reach a certain goal passed, or when you try to do something in one goal and you just can't. Well, what do you think? And yeah, long story short, to be quite frank with you, I think interpreting what failure means to you is quite important on how you go on about your life, really, because as I said in the beginning, failing can help you to have guardrails, to have goals, to have lessons learned, and all kinds of boundaries to what you can and can't achieve, how you re-evaluate certain things in your life. And don't misunderstand me. What I don't say is you never fail until you give up. That's not it at all. You can absolutely fail at something and bash your head against it, and in the end, it's not the wall that will break. It will be you. You can follow a goal that's just not meant for you, because I don't know, you want to go into arts and you're not very talented, and you do your very best and you really try hard to learn, but you never become a great actor or a great painter, or you want to become a mathematician, but you're just not good with numbers, and that's not even the start of real math, you know. That doesn't mean your value as a human is diminished, but maybe it could be good to fail and learn that you can aim your goals in a different direction and become much happier. It's also a possibility, and you should think about that. If you're trying and trying again for a long time in a certain thing, maybe a romantic thing, maybe you try to get a relationship to work, but you just can't, and you really tried your best, and you think, in the moment I give up, I will be a failure, and yeah, I failed in life, not only myself but also my partner, but maybe that person can find another person to be happy, and you can too. I'm not telling you to break up, by the way. I'm just saying, be open about what's happening and what the real goal is, because sometimes you set a goal and along the way you learn that your goal could be, should be something else entirely. And this is where we come back to my original example of me failing to run a marathon before I turned 43. And the lesson learned was about those little steps that I talked about in an earlier video, and I never gave those up, and I became fitter and happier and learned about the possibility that laid in me the whole time to look in another direction, and at a certain point I was like, maybe in all these little failures there's a big win after all. And I gotta tell you at this point that today, on December 7th, after like 330 days of walking every day, I did not run one marathon. I walked a marathon though, 100 marathons to be exact. I walked over 4,200 kilometers this year, and the year's not even over. And this adventure doesn't stop here. It doesn't stop at walking, it doesn't stop at 2025, and it doesn't stop at all, really. There were many moments this year where I was not about to give up, but to ask myself if this is really it, if this is what can help to define this new life of mine. At the start of the year I was still heartbroken. In March and April I got a really bad infection in my hip, and then directly after that, when that healed, another really bad inflammation in my shoulder that's not fully healed yet. A half a year later, I endured a lot of pain and mental distress, and I'm not telling you all this because I want you to pity me, but because I want to tell you I know that your life will have stuff like that too, and no matter what goals you set for yourself, there will be not only bumps along the road, but mountains to climb that when you look up feel impossible to seize, and you will be like, I'm tired, I really cannot, and maybe you can't, but if I have learned anything this year, and I really want to stress this, you don't have to do this alone. In these videos I try to be very particular about cutting out other people, but of course I couldn't have done this alone. And be it people walking on my side, people telling me that me posting little daily stuff about walking inspires them, just friends, you people, is what makes this really possible. And I think this is not about walking really, but this is about life. And when I started this little video series, I was very afraid of becoming schmaltzy and kitschy, and I try to not do that, but this is the main lesson really, because it's true what they say. If you walk fast, walk alone. If you walk far, walk together. I don't know where my goal next year will lead me. I will probably walk a bit less, even though I will definitely be outside every day next year and the year after that, if my health allows to do so. But I don't want to do it alone. Not for long stretches of time anyways. The best days this year and every day really where those will form the memories of future days of me and friends. Because sometimes I find it very hard to have the self-love to get up in the morning, to eat and move, and walk and laugh and fight. It just seems that I'm not worth that much struggle sometimes. That's an asshole voice, but to lie and say it's not there doesn't help. Because then you would think, in case you have such an asshole voice, that you're alone with that, and you're really not. But there has not been a single day where I was like, the people that I love, the people that care about me, those are not worth the struggle. That didn't happen, not once. And so that is very reliable. So, I don't know if this is the end of the video series or just the beginning. I don't have a particular goal in mind right now to set for next year. But if I think of something good, I'll let you know, I promise. No matter if I have talked to you just yesterday or if we didn't talk for a while, and I'll probably think of you right now and miss you, or if we haven't met yet. From my heart, I hope this year is worse than next year, and the next year is worse than the year after that. And I hope we get to share some of the time. Take care.